Hello, everyone, and welcome to Market Psychology 101, where we look for value in the markets when there's fear and are cautious when there's greed. Today, we are going to be taking a look at some of the earnings reports for stocks and those stocks' technical analysis that's available this week. So, if earnings have come up on any stocks that I use or stocks that I like, we're going to be taking a look at them. Some of these stocks I've looked at a while ago. Some I've looked at recently, some I've never looked at. So we're just going to go through the earnings reports of any stocks I recognize and see might there be any opportunities to buy. As you guys know, the S&P, we are in all-time high region here. We just keep going up. If I zoom way out, we have, I drew this parallel channel here just to kind of to see is there anything we can expect or look for. If you're wondering how I drew this parallel channel, basically I've been looking since the 2008 bottom and any of the peaks we made, and if I line up those peaks, and we did have a little bit of a bottom here, we shot under it and then went back up, that if we were to have any crazy euphoria peaks for whatever random reason, what we might look at, do I believe the S&P is going to get to 7,000 sometime soon? Me personally, no. Could it? Maybe. And as you can see, I have a bearish divergence line down here that has been invalidated, so we're going to get rid of that. But anyways, let's take a look at the markets today and some of these stocks. Let's start out with fear and greed. On CNN, we are in extreme greed. Why wouldn't we be? We're an all-time high. Pi Investing, like this site a lot. It says we're at 69% greed, and I think part of that might be is you take a look at the Mag 7 stocks, and we've started to see weakness, first in Tesla, and now we've been seeing some weakness in Apple. Sure, NVIDIA, Microsoft still doing great, but there are some cracks starting to form. I don't know if you guys saw, there's an article that came out how Berkshire Hathaway, which Warren Buffett, they own a lot of Apple stock, has sold some. And Jeff Bezos has sold some of his Amazon stock. Might that be a sign of things to come? Maybe. We'll see. There is something just macro, I would say, bearish sentiment that I've concerned is that we aren't having a bull market out of rate cuts. We've raised rates. We've been holding rates higher for longer. When rate cuts do happen, that's typically when we see dips thereafter. So white line, that's inflation peak. Red line, I believe that's when we have rate cuts. Typically, let's auto adjust this. So yeah, red line, that's when we first cut rates after holding them. So when we've been holding rates up for a while, when the first cut happens, that's the red line here. White line, that's the local inflation peak. Should that be a top for inflation? So top for inflation was back here. Rate cuts were here. You can see rate cuts typically do lead to market bottoms. However, this rate cut took a little bit before an eventual bottom. We haven't had rate cuts yet. So anyways, let's get to the earnings reports. Let's start by looking at Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola, Pepsi, both stocks that if there's a good time or entry to buy in, those are ones that I would strongly consider. It's a trend line I drew, something similar to, you know what this reminds me of actually? This reminds me sort of the breakdown on the chart that I've seen in Tesla, where we've had 3 bounces. Tesla got down to here. Could Coke get down to 50? Maybe, we'll see. Right now we're on the weekly. Let's look at some moving averages first. What do we see here? So you can see we got under that 200 not too long ago in October, got down to that trend line, or that once we dipped and went back up, you can see that's where the trend line then could be made. But if you got Coca-Cola under the 200 at around $52, that would have been great. So right here, all those moving averages are converging. It does look like it wants to go down in a bearish way. I'm not going to draw fibs. Some of these I might draw fibs, but some of these I might just do some quick indicators. If I had a sell, buy, sell, and this thing here that is called the long-legged doji. This little guy right here. So even though it's red, these can shoot up big time, high or low, because it's red, because it has a sell signal on the weekly. Maybe it'll go down. If we change it to monthly, do we see anything more macro? No, our last macro was a buy. So again, go into weekly, smaller time frame than the monthly, obviously. Maybe we can expect Coke to possibly work its way down somewhere around the $50 region. Let's keep going. What other stocks can we look at? Shopify, good online stock. If you or any friends of yours have an online business, they may or probably use Shopify to coordinate their online business sales. Great product, Shopify. I believe they did a 10-to-1 stock split a few years ago because I recall the price being a lot higher. So Shopify, this one I am going to draw a fib. You can see we had a buy signal. Well, we had a sell and buy over here, and we're above that. We're above that moving average line. However, I do want to draw a fib here just because we've had such extreme highs to lows that from our last high to low, when we got down here, we have now gotten above this line right here. So looks like, yeah, we're starting to be bullish again. And as long as we stay over this, that's probably a good sign. If we take a look at the moving averages, where are we at here? It's above the moving averages. It's getting up some fib levels. So I'd say, and it's up here near the high of this little range that they got. So yeah, right now things are looking bullish for Shopify. If you're looking for some entries to get in, again, maybe you look for it to hit one of these longer moving averages or an area on the fib we drew, or let it play out a sell signal like on that indicator I showed you before, and then by the next weekly buy signal. So Shopify overall looking strong. If you have some Shopify, Airbnb, let's take a look. So Airbnb, all right, this stock's been out since December 2020. Imagine coming out with your stock in the COVID year, especially with everything going on and travel restrictions. That must have been tough. So got all the way down here to this $87 range, and it's getting close to doubling. So this one, I think it would be beneficial to draw a fib. There's a high over there. I'm just reading that one back there. Where are we at? So we just got above the 0.5. So overall, higher lows. We almost had a higher high. Something I am curious about right here, though, is where's the RSI? So when it peaked here on the 0.5, you can see the RSI was up here. I would like this RSI to get higher. Otherwise, we have, if you were to draw a trend line, you see how the RSI, relative strength index, moving down. That would mean bearish divergence and possibly having a low come down to, maybe somewhere around 135, or maybe there is a moving average to be concerned of. Yeah, possibly a moving average to be concerned of. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's go to the daily. So if it did get bearish, I think this 135 area, the moving average would probably come to it. That might not be the worst area to look, if you're willing to be patient, to look for some areas to buy. So yeah, that's what we got for Airbnb. Again, on the weekly, we had some sell, buy. We've moved up a fib. Overall, in the last year, we're at yearly highs. So would I be buying here? No. But dollar cost average, I'm looking at this fib, 135. So yeah, that's what we got for Airbnb. Any others? This is from Tuesday. I'm just scrolling through here again. I only buy stocks I use and I like. That's how I invest with my own money in stocks. So if there's any here that you use and like, you can do your own research. Robinhood, I use them for investing in some stocks. Hood. What a name, Hood. All right, so look at that accumulation. Man, we've been in this $8 to $13 range in here. As you can see, a lot of accumulation. This has been going on, gosh, since we started in that range all the way in April 22. So This has been going on for dang near 2 years, 2 years of a lot of accumulation. What does it say? Robinhood has a market cap of 12 billion because of some possible corrections coming in the future and recession concerns. I might be a little bit wary on Robinhood again. Like if Robinhood were to have issues go down, I do believe people are insured with their holdings up to 500,000, something like that. So as you can see, we're creating higher lows, and then we got here. So really, you could consider, well, this is a higher low from here, but not necessarily here. Here we in the small time frame we had lower lows. Let's take a look at the last year at least. Look at that range. So $8 to 13. Are we possibly breaking above that range? Yeah, right now, well, if you look at that, when we got into this range, we haven't been this high really since we started to get back down into it. So might this be a possible area for macro reversal? Maybe. We'll see. Let's draw a fib from just within the last year, low to high. So I would not be buying a stock personally when it's at a yearly high, when it's overbought. We're in the daily right now. If you did your research, and again, I'm leaving research up to you guys for all the stocks and cryptos out there because I can't research them all. However, let's say you made your plan and you wrote down a list of 10 stocks, a list of 5 cryptos, whatever. You've done your research and Robinhood is a stock you like. Well, as I like to say on this channel, time in the market's more important than time in the market. So if you've done your research, then you could be getting in Robinhood in some of these areas. I don't like to promote chasing the price. When it's up here, oh gosh, is it going to go up? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it is going to shoot up and then crash back down. So I do encourage patience, trying to react to market conditions that meet your plan. Let's go out to the weekly. And most recently, we had a buy signal. And we moved from 11 up to 14. How big was that move? So here to, let me move over so I can see. 25%. That's pretty significant. So if Robinhood is a stock you use, and if it's one you like, me personally, I would wait for the buy signal earlier on. Let's say it already happens and you miss half of it. Well, you could look for structure, fib support, things like that. So that's the gist. I'm going to leave it there for Robinhood. Any others? I mean, there's some here, some products I use, some I like. Nothing big that I think you guys would really care about. Again, if you see any names here, load up TradingView, set up your TradingView account, and just take a look at the charts, or even just Google Arista Network stock if that's something you're into. Waste management, that's a big one. I don't really use them. Some people do. Semiconductor stocks. So again, best way, it is going to be a little mini spiel. Best way to get insider information on a stock, use the stock and know about the stock. If you use the product or the company that has that stock, you'll know whether it's a good product or not. You'll know whether it's trending forward and upward or not. So just some things to be mindful of. Wednesday, we had Cisco. Some people are calling this the dot-com bubble version of NVIDIA today. We'll see. People are comparing the charts from the dot-com bubble with Cisco to NVIDIA and saying, if NVIDIA pulls a Cisco, NVIDIA will go up to 1,200. We'll see. Sony, I use Sony products. I like Sony products overall. Let's look at Sony. Where's Sony? Let's take a look at this together. So, all right, we zoom out. We can see that Sony had this top over here around 133. Right now it's at $92. We had the sell signal and boom, look at that. We got down to this moving average here. And so I would be looking for a little bit of structure, possibly even getting in the weekly under the 50 on the RSI, Relative Strength Index. So it might have some structure here. Let's change this over to, let's take a look at some moving averages. What do we see? Bam, you can see, man, we're getting close to that 200. So if it gets that 200 around 85, if you like Sony, not a bad area to dollar cost average in. Yes, we have these lower ones. We can change, we can take that off and let's just take a look at some fibs. We'll go from that recent high to low. And what do we got here? So, all right, you can see 0.5. We got down here to this 382 level, and yes, it flips when you go low to high. And just I like looking at the levels here and seeing where there's support and resistance. So you can see we wicked down hard here, and yeah, where's it going to go next? I'd say this is really important, because if it gets back down here, then that to me is looking at least medium term bearish. When we take a look at the RSI, this is, I know it's only slightly above, but if the RSI is going down and price is really just going sideways, then you could say that's looking bearish. If price is going up, RSI is going down, bearish divergence, because it's diverging the strength from the price. But if the price is just going sideways or down and the RSI is going down, that's just bearish. So yeah, this level here at 89, it has to hold. Again, you could look for the 200 moving average I showed you before. Maybe what was that, somewhere around 80. Otherwise, if that doesn't hold, if you like Sony, you could consider possibly just dollar cost averaging in. Because look, we haven't been at these prices since, pre-COVID. And so if you got it anywhere around 70, hey, I think long term, that'd be a great area to buy Sony. It does have a 171 billion market cap. So something to consider is, if let's say it dips down and gets somewhere like 100 billion. Well, then let's say you invested, this is how market cap works, guys. If you invested $1,000 when Sony's at 100 billion market cap, and you want that 1,000 to turn into 10,000, then you believe Sony's market cap will 10x and go to $1 trillion. So just a quick lesson in market cap. Let's keep looking. Occidental Petroleum, that's a big Warren Buffett oil stock. I'm not going to really look up too much on Occidental Petroleum other than just look at the chart. And oh boy, look at this. So yeah, really tanked into 2020 when people weren't driving at all. I'm sure Warren Buffett was buying in down here. My God. And, something to consider is, look, if you drew a trend line, you can see how it's going downwards. This is on the weekly. I am curious. I said I wasn't going to do any indicators yet. Here we are. So what do we got? Well, we have a buy signal, but again, it's ranging. It's going lower. Price going lower. So it's kind of bearish, but yeah, oil's always going to be something the world's going to use. So yeah. Any others? Kraft Heinz Company, KHC. I use their noodles. I like it. Let's take a look at the chart. Is this something I can play with? So look at this. IPO back here in July 2015. Man, this is why you usually wait a couple of years for an IPO. And even if you waited a couple of years, God, look at this. The nice thing about this, though, is if you haven't bought any, you could say, well, here, it's already had its big sell-off. It's already so far. But God, look at this price. It's just going down. RSI's going down. A lot of bearish looking things about this. It's a $43 billion market cap. Do I like noodles? And I know Kraft does ketchup and everything too, but do I like noodles and ketchup for 43 billion? Me, not personally. So, but again, make your own investment decisions, invest in what you like and use, and if the technicals make sense. To me, that much market cap technicals personally don't make sense. I'd rather be buying into something like Coke or Pepsi. Albemarle. Let's take a look at a war stock. Things are heating up in the Middle East. When aren't they? Let's take a look at a war stock. How is this doing? So, all right. This war stock, look at all this structure in here. So we had a lot of big structure back here. I would look for it to possibly get down to this level, this 100 level, personally. But if you take a look back, we had some structure, went up, going down lower. And we have some structure here. I would look here. And something else to consider, look at this. So sometimes when we get oversold on the RSI, I do want to see a double or triple tap. Something to know, though, is look how when we are double tapping, we're going up in the RSI, lower in price. That is bullish divergence. So might this be an area to buy some Albemarle stock? Guys, if you DCA'd dollar cost averaged here for this stock, and it's one you like, it's one you use, or even just a stock you like. Look at this. 14 billion for a war stock when things are heating up around the world. Hell, why not? It got as high as 333 back here, and it's at 117. Heck, yeah, maybe you are thinking this thing might triple. Why couldn't it? But again, if it's a stock you believe in, and no, I'm drawing from the low to the high here. Again, we're just looking at levels. This area here is big. Overall, if I was in a stock long term, I'd rather it stay above this 159 range. Right now, the concerning thing to me isn't the RSI. Sorry about that. It isn't the RSI here, how it's going up like this, possibly getting ready to reverse. The concerning thing to me is that the price is getting lower. So just something to look at. Might it come back down again? Sure. Overall, if you were to draw a trend line, we haven't broken above that trend line. Maybe we'll come back up and then back down in here, and then we'll be kind of at these levels before that I talked about, that 93 level. Let's get rid of the fib. And yeah, whether we draw it from high to low, low to high, really doesn't matter. This is a key level. So yeah, that's Albert Marley. Let's take a look at any others. Generac. I have some friends that have worked for Generac. That might be one to consider. I know Crocs was having an earning report come out sometime. John Deere. That'd be a good one. My wife loves using DoorDash. Okay, let's take a look at Crocs. Let's take a look at Crocs. All right, man. Doesn't Crocs kind of look like the S&P in a way? Man, so I know a lot of people who wear Crocs and love them. So right here, we got bullish off that moving average. And we had that buy signal. This on the weekly moved up. So we've gone from 121 to 95 to 121. That's a big move. Our size going up. So how are we in the last year? Okay. We're at 122. We've been as high as 150. So again, time in the market's more important than time in the market. If you do your research, you have your list of stocks, check them once a week, once every other week, just for a couple minutes, see where the price is, see where the indicators are. I would not be buying Crocs now. However, if it did come back down to these levels, I might. Let's just draw a fib, low to high, and see where we're at. I'm looking at the high way on the left. So, man, look at that wick we got today. Yeah, we must have had earnings today. So we got up to this 382 fib right there. Overall, I would expect a little bit of a healthy pullback, maybe to the 0.5, around the 112. You can see all this structure here that was once resistance, probably now support. So if we did get a sell signal, I'd look at that 103 as an entry area to dollar cost average in, all the way down to 90. So that's Crocs for you. John Deere, that's the one I wanted to look at. John Deere. I screwed it up. John Deere. Here we go. Deere and Company. I was spelling it right. So this one I've looked at before. Let's adjust this fib, make sure it's done correctly now. So John Deere, look at this RSI. This is on the daily. Man, we're way down here. Look at the weekly though. We're under 50 there. So you can see the RSI is trending up. We're trending up here as well. And as far as price gone lower. RSI, you can see the bottom moving up. So we are wedging a little bit and possibly getting ready for a breakout either way. So again, you can take a look at this. Maybe we're forming a big macro flag here. But as far as John Deere goes, great company, product I like, product I've used, and we've had the sell signal. We've hit this trend line here where we've wicked off of it. I might consider buying. Again, you might wait till it gets to the 0.5, somewhere around 3, right here, 3.6. Oh, look at that. It's gone down to 364. So where's 364? Well, 364 is right above where this trend line is. So that's the after hours trading. I might consider dollar cost averaging in here with John Deere. I know we haven't had a buy signal, so you could be worried about a falling knife, sure. But again, macro fib, not the worst area to enter in if you like John Deere. Let's take a look at some of these moving averages. So where's this moving average? Well, that's down here. It'd be working up to the 618, which would have to hold to keep it macro bullish. That's around 340. So if you want to be patient, wait here. Guys, we haven't gotten to that 200 moving average or under it. Look how rare that is since COVID times. Understandable. A lot of things got down there. Since 2016, okay, we were under there by a little bit. We went from, now here's something to consider, the percentage. When we hit the 200, even when things get under, people freak out. Sure, it might get down another 15, 20%, okay? So what? Buy more. If it's a stock you believe in, another 15, 20% under, cool. Look how rare these opportunities are, though, for a good quality company like John Deere to get to the 200. And obviously, the great financial crisis, greatest crash recession since the Great Depression. So, yes, we got way under. Again, that's like a 1 in 50 year crash there. So, if we were to get a big recession and go down to this average, hey, I think that's a great area to buy. Do I think it's a great area to buy right here? Kind of, yeah. I like John Deere at this price as far as long-term potential. If I'm investing in the John Deere right now, I'm putting money in and I'm forgetting about it for 10 years. Do I believe John Deere is going to be around in 10, 20, 30 years? Yeah. They are so widely used for farming equipment and all around the country that I like John Deere a lot. So again, do your own research. Look at their balance sheet. $100 billion company. I think it's a safe stock. I would like it a lot too. Any others that I want to look at with you guys? Not really a gambler, believe it or not. Coinbase. I use Coinbase. Let's take a look at Coinbase. I'll never forget when Jim Cramer said, don't buy Coinbase, or he said it sucked at around 40. And then earlier around IPO, he's like, oh, I like Coinbase when it was around like 400. So anyways, what do we got for Coinbase? IPO wasn't that long ago. This is a moving average. That's not really showing us too much. Now, up to 165. My God, so Coinbase is ripping. And why wouldn't it be? Coinbase kind of goes the way Bitcoin goes overall. I bet it had its most recent bottom. Yep, somewhere around November 22. Okay, that's when the FTX sell-off happened. Coinbase has gone up since that sell-off. After FTX went down, Coinbase has gone up 500%. I do have some Coinbase stock. It is doing well for me. Did I get this very bottom? No, but I did get in a lot right in here. So overall, I'm happy. And let's draw a fib from the low to the high there. Again, after hours trading, 165. That's getting up there. I'm sure we have a macro buy signal here on the weekly. Yep, look at that. When's the last time we had one on the monthly? Well, if you're only buying monthly and you're super patient, man, look at that. You could have got Coinbase at 60, which I did. I was able to get Coinbase between 50 and 60 myself. So if you're only looking at monthly, hey, not a bad way to go. Again, this is more of a front-running buy-sell indicator. If you were to use something like UT bot alerts, it's more of a lagging, confirming buy-sell indicator. It'll reduce your chances of being eaten up in a possible reversal. So just something to consider. Last thing I want to look at, we looked at the moving averages, but we didn't on the daily. We didn't on a shorter time frame. So let's go to the daily. So again, we're up here. We're bullish. So it looks like we're going to create new yearly highs with Coinbase. If I had to guess, I bet that we're getting higher for Coinbase. So we're getting back up here again. Any others to look at? DoorDash. Oh yeah, my wife loves DoorDash. Likes her product, uses her product. Look at that. Look at that 200. If there's stocks you like and use, that 200 ain't the worst time. And then right as I say that, look at how much time it's spent under the 200, just slowly falling. So, man, That's on the daily. Let's zoom out to the yearly, more of a macro. So how long's DoorDash been around for as a stock? December 2020. Yeah, so did we look at DoorDash already? This is reminding me a lot of. Hey, did we look at it already? Guys. This is my work brain here. I think we already looked at DoorDash, didn't we? Or another stock. Maybe it was. I'm having a deja vu moment. I apologize. So, DoorDash. I cannot remember if we just looked at it or not. Anyways, DoorDash probably at a yearly high. And yeah, I wouldn't be buying it right now. Overbought. So let's move on. I'm embarrassed. That's my brain right now. Near the end of the work week, cold weather coming back. My God, this guy's losing it. Let's go to tomorrow. Any good earnings tomorrow? You guys are seeing my brain develop dementia and Alzheimer's right before your very eyes. Any here? Not really. And we're at 31 minutes, so it's probably just time to wrap up. So again, crypto, fear and greed. We're up in greed, extreme greed. You can see on Pie Investing, we are working our way down, and something to be wary of. I did want to look at this with you guys. One of the top stocks is starting to trend downwards. I tried drawing some bearish divergence before. Turns out it's playing true. So we are having, just like this was bullish divergence, higher in the RSI, lower in the price. Boom. We had bearish divergence, higher in the price, lower in the RSI. We're coming down. I would look for Apple to get to this 178 level. I like Apple long term. Guys, the 200 MA with a lot of these big tech stocks tend to be some good, not just good, great opportunities to buy. Let's take a look at the weekly. You see we're chopping, but we're getting lower and things are looking bearish, and yes, the lines are moving around. All right, so if you start buying Apple around 178, not bad. Again, wait for confirmation maybe. Maybe we're going to get macro confirmation up there. On the monthly, when's been our last buy signal? It hasn't been since 178. So, and then back here. So you can take a look and just buy in the monthly buy signals. Again, sometimes we can go lower. So monthly buy signal. And this buy sell signal, it is more susceptible to fake outs. And that happened here. Others are more confirming. You can go that way. At least on the weekly. Again, that 178. Let's take a look at those moving averages. This is the last thing we'll look at, the moving averages. And what do we see here? Well, let's go back in time. So we got these long moving averages. Look, if you just buy the 100, that white line here, not the worst time. If you buy the 200, great. Or even if you look at the RSI to confirm, like when we're under 50 on the weekly, 100, under 50, you can make things real simple for yourself. 200. Look at the last time we could buy the 200. It's been since December of 2018. So 6 years. 5 years. And 200. 2 years before that. 200. 3 years before that. Under the 200, great financial crisis, or at and under. So that was 4 or 5 years. All right, so, and you guys can see even hitting the 100 is a good area to start dollar cost averaging in. So that's my stance on a lot of these nice big tech stocks. If Apple is indeed starting to get bearish, guys, I would worry about bigger market corrections coming. The two stocks to watch out for this time around, even more than Apple, is Nvidia and Microsoft. Keep your eyes on those. If those start to show weakness, maybe Tesla was first, and then we're going to see Apple, Google, Amazon, Meta. Maybe those would be the second wave. And the last wave, to me, the strongest stocks are Nvidia and Microsoft. So if you start to see the Mag 7 stocks, and we've started to see cracks, first with Tesla, but again, Tesla's the weakest of the Mag 7. But if we start to see them all come down to the 100 and even the 200, that tends to be when when macro market bottoms can settle in. So if we're getting to the 100, not financial advice, I would be dollar cost averaging in there on a quality stock like Apple. But again, I would be waiting for Nvidia and Microsoft to be getting back down there too. And when that'll happen, I don't know, but we have started to see cracks on the surface, at least with Apple. Could you dollar cost average in here? Sure. Me, because I like Apple, product I like, product I use, I'd be looking at the very first area to dollar cost average here at this fib, at this moving average. It's probably the 55, yep, at around 178. So a lot of good things going for it. And then the 100, whatever that is. And the 200, if we're under the 100 each month, whenever I can, I'd be dollar cost averaging in. So 35-minute video. I'm going to end it there. That's our earnings report for this week. Sorry for the brain delay earlier. I apologize. I am sipping on some nice bourbon while doing this video. I'm not buzzed. I'm not drunk. I just started sipping, and I barely had half an ounce. So hope you guys are enjoying these videos. If there are any stocks or cryptos or indicators or concepts you would like for me to look at, please comment it below. And yeah, here at Market Psychology, I'm just trying to help you guys look for areas to maximize your value, ways to simplify investing that you can do. Do your own research. I'm not going to research all these stocks and cryptos. That's for you guys to do. What we are going to do here is take a look at the technicals. TA isn't everything. It isn't the only thing. It is just one of many tools in your tool belt that you can use. If you've looked at the stock, you've done your research, you've looked at the balance sheet, and you like it, you use the product, then you can move on. Where's the fear? Where is the greed? Where is the RSI level? Where's the MACD level? Where are some of these indicators? Where's the price on the fib? You could start, then you can add in TA to increase the return potential on your investments. So guys, hope you're enjoying these videos, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.